chests are back, kind of, and champions getting reworked, also kind of. This update might finally fix Clash Royale, or break the game in a brand new way. For years, champions have felt weird. They weren't just stronger cards with special abilities, they bent the rules of deck rotation in a way no other troop, spell, or building did. And that's exactly what's changing now. First things first, that weird 3-card cycle you were forced into every time you dropped a champion, yeah, it's gone. Completely deleted. Tossed into the trash. Buried next to heal spell and other mechanics Supercell decided didn't deserve to live. Before this update, the second you placed a champion on the field, the game essentially flipped into a hidden champion mode. You may not have realized it the first time you played with them, but every card in your deck, whether it was a spell like Fireball, a cheap cycle card like Skeletons, or a heavy tank like Giant, instantly locked into a 3-card cycle. And this didn't change until your champion died. But as of October's update, that's history. Gone. From this point onward, decks with champions will rotate exactly like decks without them. 4 cards to get back to anything. No hidden shortcut, no secret fast track, no confusing math messing with your muscle memory. If you play a champion now, your deck continues on like normal. And because of that change, something new becomes possible. Stacking. Since champions are no longer tied to a weird cycle system, the game now treats them like any other unit, which means if you've got the elixir, you can drop multiple copies of the same champion on the field. Double Mighty Miner, go ahead and try to split lane shred your opponent. 2 Skeleton Kings staring you down at the bridge, completely possible. A pair of Archer Queens both activating their cloaks and melting through a golem push. Yup, that nightmare scenario can actually happen now. Of course, don't get too excited. You still can't bring 2 different champions into one deck. Supercell hasn't lost their minds completely. But within that limit, the ability to stack a single champion changes the pacing of defense, offense, and how people plan their pushes. A single mistake against a player-saving elixir could mean dealing with not just one overpowered champion, but 2 of them at once. Here's the thing. That 3-card cycle wasn't just weird, it was broken. Straight up busted. And on top of that, it was confusing for both new players and veterans alike. Supercell basically let this system sit in the game untouched for 4 whole years. 4 years where competitive decks, ladder decks, and even casual play all got twisted around this hidden mechanic that most players didn't even fully understand. It wasn't just a champion perk, it warped how the game worked. Think about it this way. Clash Royale is built on rhythm. The idea that you play a card, wait through 4 other cards, and then finally see that first one again. It's predictable, it's reliable, and it's the foundation of every strategy, whether you're running Logbait, Expo, or a massive beatdown deck. But the second a champion hit the field, all of that structure got ripped apart. Take the Archer Queen, for example. This is the card that really showed off how broken champion cycling could be. Let's say you drop her at the back, ready to set up a push. Your opponent sees her and doesn't hesitate. They slam down Lightning immediately, deleting her before she even gets close to the bridge. Normally, that would feel like a fair trade. They spent 6 elixir to remove your 5 elixir card. Done deal. But because of the champion cycle system, the game then decided, hey, you don't need those other cards in your deck right now. How about another Archer Queen? And boom. After just 3 cards, she was back in your hand. It was like secretly running a double queen deck even though you only had 1 copy. Imagine being the opponent in that situation. You've just spent 6 elixir to deal with a 5-cost card. You should feel safe. Instead, just a few plays later, you're staring down a second queen and your cycle isn't nearly fast enough to have another lightning ready. It was unfair and it tilted matchups in her favor in a way that broke the flow of the game. Or let's talk about Mighty Miner, one of the most oppressive champions when combined with the 3-card cycle. You drop him on defense and he'd eat through tanks like Golem or Giant with ease. Use his ability and he'd not only shred through their push, but also swap lanes to keep the pressure alive. Now here's where it gets crazy. With the evolved Firecracker and the cycle system, you can bait out a spell, cycle right back to her instantly, and suddenly you've got 3 Firecrackers on the field. One's already evolved, another's firing away, and the second evolved copy is sitting in your hand, ready to go. That meant your opponent didn't even have time to set up their next tank before you had the counter ready to go. If you were a beatdown player trying to build momentum, this was a nightmare. It completely validated the slow, methodical setups those decks relied on. Players started spamming rockets, fireballs, logs, arrows, basically anything that could chip away at your tower faster than usual. Normally, spell cycle decks are balanced by how slow their rotations are. If you rocket at my tower, I know I have 4 cards to breathe before you can rocket again. That pacing is what keeps the archetype fair. So yeah, the 3-card cycle was more than just a little strange. It was one of the most game-warping mechanics Clash Royale has ever had, and removing it is going to change the game. What does this mean for the champions themselves? Well, the short answer is a lot. Some of them lose a massive part of their identity, while others actually come out stronger than before. Let's break it down card by card. Little Prince loses his fast cycle edge but becomes deadly against heavy decks as a stackable, spell-proof dart goblin. Mighty Miner still melts tanks and swaps lanes but feels weaker versus cycle. Boss Bandit stays strong in bridge spam, with risky split lane potential if she feeds a free King Tower activation. Skeleton King gets even better, stacking pressure in drill pushes. Goblin Stein remains confusing but less punishable, though lightning timing is still awkward. Monk loses his Royal Giant cycle role. Archer Queen, she is the biggest winner. Freed from cycle jail, she returns after 4 cards, can stack pre-cycle abilities, and dominate, though she still crumbles to lightning. Alright, now let's talk about chess, because apparently Supercell looked at players quitting and thought, what if Clash Royale felt more like a casino? And that's exactly what this update does. The old predictable chess system is getting a makeover. First up are the common lucky chess. Think of these as silver chess in a party hat. They look shinier, the name sounds more exciting, but once you crack them open, it's just gold and cards. That's it. No wild surprises, no hidden jackpots, just a slightly more polished version of what we've been opening for years. They're filler rewards, and if you were hoping for anything spicy here, you're going to be disappointed. Next are the magic lucky chess. These are basically just the old lucky drops, except they've been reskinned into chess form. Same contents, same odds, same everything. The only real change is cosmetic. They look cooler, which is nice, but don't let the shiny wrapping fool you. If you were annoyed with lucky drops before, you'll feel the exact same way here. Now here's where things actually get interesting. Seasonal lucky chess. These rotate every season, and right now, the theme is Halloween. That means the draw pool is full of spooky skeleton-themed cards like Skeleton King, Witch, Bomber, and Skeleton Army. Basically, every card that already makes your blood pressure spike when you see it on the ladder. On top of the cards, these chests also come with exclusive banners, emotes, and, most importantly, a chance to pull the newest evolution card. And because Supercell can't keep a secret to save their lives, that evolution was already leaked by TV Royale, so players know exactly what they're gambling for. Here's the kicker. There aren't just one, but 2 seasonal lucky chests. One is for the current evolution card, and the other is for the Evo coming next month. So if you want both, good luck. The pity system. Now before you panic about throwing away all your gems, yes, there is technically a pity system, sort of. It's not clearly confirmed by Supercell, but the idea is that every few chests, you're guaranteed some progress. Open 5 seasonal chests, you're supposed to get an Evo shard. Open 7, that's a guaranteed legendary card. Hit 10, another shard. In practice, what this means is that while you might still get unlucky, you're at least not completely wasting your gems. Some players might land the new Evo in 12 chests, others at 30 or 40, and some might swear they never get it at all. It's RNG, but with a thin safety net. If you hate RNG, you can just wait. The new Evo will almost certainly show up in the shop later, but that comes at a cost, and Supercell knows it. Whether you gamble your gems now or pull out your wallet, the system is designed to keep you spending. So, at the end of the day, the new chess system is flashy, addicting, and just chaotic enough to make you keep checking what's inside. It's a trap to take your gems and your pretty penny. But here's the real talk. If this breakdown saved you 1,000 gems, or even just helped you understand why the meta's about to feel so chaotic, you already know what to do. Smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and stick around, because this is only the beginning. October's update is already turning the game upside down. Who knows what's to come next month? Let's find out.